to Riverbend Talent, brought to you by the Halpin Music Company, and brought to you by Mr. Matt Van Morse of Macias Insurance, a sea shanty sing-along underway at Morrison's Irish Pub, and Everhart and Light firing up the open mic out at Baker's and Hale, and Pigpen, the outside shows are slowing down.
But you did a great impersonation of Lydia, like from 5-6 years ago, whatever it was.
Yeah,
that she did
I was
that.
trying. For some reason, the computer froze up. But
for some
I wanted
reason,
to tell you,
some reason, we'll get to the reason here in a minute.
I wanted to tell you, the outside shows are starting to move inside, like the tiki bar, right?
Absolutely.
No tiki for your bumhole, cornholio.
yeah, right. Yeah.
See, so anyways, chills in the air and in the studios. With the ghost hunters being here, they're bringing the chills.
They didn't just bring the chills; they brought the grim. No sooner than our lovely guests stroll into the studio, the computer just freezes up, goes to a blank screen. It's still sitting there saying Barrett, which was something that was playing like 5-6 minutes ago.
It's Saint Richel is here. And Sergeant Brian.
Saint Richel, patron saint of potty mouth.
I turned over a new leaf.
Yeah, she's a total saint now.
Yeah, I've given up my old ways.
I don't see a kick in the habit or wearing one, so we'll see. We'll see what happens here. And Sergeant
Brian Murray. Yes.
Yeah, it's me.
Good to see you, sir.
Co-founder of Riverbend Paranormal.
That's true.
Right, yeah.
And someone who he saw something upstairs that you said was...
What did we do, 2 or 3
creepy?
Investigations up there?
There was 2 of them I know of.
Yeah. I think we did one without you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might have been gone. Yeah, I feel like I did see a person.
Yeah.
That wasn't supposed to be there.
Well, that might have been me. I'm not supposed to be here.
Well, it was pretty... it was interesting because I actually went almost outside to see if I could see if anybody was there. There was nobody out there. And this person looked like grayish brown. And I was like, what's the room by the kitchen?
That would be the Sky Room.
Okay, so I was away.
Yeah.
I was way into that room. And what's the room that I went in?
That was like the office. It's across the...
I watched it walk from, if I was looking at it, left to right. And I immediately went in there because it just looked odd. And I never did figure it out.
I got to see every inch of your eyeballs after that.
Yeah, because, usually in the paranormal field, you don't get a full-bodied apparition most times.
Right.
So this one was, I'm not saying it was a ghost. What I am saying is it was different, and it shouldn't have been there, and it got my attention. And I've done this for a very long time, and most things don't get my attention like that. And it did.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said to me, pretty much.
So just to clear up what we're talking about for anybody who's in the dark here,
we got excited.
Brian and Richel, A&E ghost hunters, we're talking to, and what was it, a year or 2 ago? I
think it's been quite that long, maybe
10 months, maybe.
Yeah,
all the days run together for me when I'm doing it right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I get it.
So back some time ago, you guys, we're in the Stratford Hotel right in downtown Alton, and we've done a few investigations up there in the past. You guys went up and did one, and you saw a grayish-brown apparition, which I want to say grayish-brown lives matter and grayish-brown non-lives matter. So let's...
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. I loved how you did that. You hit it right.
I just opened my mouth and things come out. I don't know what's going to happen. Anyway, you saw an apparition, and what made it got Dennis so excited is that you do this all the time, and you normally don't see this sort of thing. Even though you do it, you're on TV week after week. You don't. Yeah, you're the one who's not
usually just kind of like, okay. But in that moment, and she can tell you, I mean, she investigates with me all the time. If I go after something or she goes after something, it usually is more interesting than just, maybe. You know what I mean?
I love it because every single time that he does go after something, first of all, I always get mad at him because he doesn't let me know. He just takes off, and I'm like, you're not going to catch him, first of all.
But he doesn't have a second to waste.
I understand that.
And at that time, you were upstairs doing something.
Yeah, I was upstairs, so I wasn't with you that time.
Right.
But I do love it because every single time something happens where you have an experience like that and you tell me about it, like I haven't been there with you, you always are like, you believe me, right?
I know.
And
Thing, man.
he always is asking me if I believe him. I'm like, we've been best friends for how long? Yeah, I believe you. And he's like, you don't look like you believe me. I'm like, I'm trying to comprehend what you're telling me to work through this with you. But yes, I believe that you saw something.
In this case, very rarely are we not investigating with each other.
Right.
She took a group of people around. I was just sitting basically with one other person. I was sitting on my ass.
You took yourself. You took yourself
I really did.
somewhere.
Yeah. So I was real worried that she wasn't going to believe me because she wasn't, like, either I have my hand in her pocket or she's real close to having her hands in mine.
No, don't
That's
say
not
that.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We're close.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
You can't see this on radio, but he has his hand in my pocket right now.
I do.
And so
It's just my thing. if I like you.
I didn't know if you liked me or
gonna
trying to
say-
make 14 the hard way. I wasn't sure what was going on.
I usually just make people hold my pocket like prison style.
That's what I should have said. Like, usually when she's not around, I can't function anyways.
Prison style. I love that. Oh, that
I really
is
do
great.
that sometimes to people. I'll pull out my pocket. I'm like, hold my pocket.
Yeah.
And the crazy
Don't
thing
let
about
go.
it is, it might be different for you guys, but I have never had someone not do it. They look at me like kind of scared or nervous, but they always are like, okay.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm just like,
I don't think you pocketed me.
I don't have to pocket you.
This is true.
Yeah. I usually, if I ask someone to hang on to my pocket, I get, the police call. There's an investigation as to why I'm that close to the school in the beginning. No, I
get it.
And so before we move away from this whole apparition, I don't know why we got to bring color into it, but brownish gray.
All right.
Since that's all we know of it now, in all of the years of investigating, because if you see something or hear something and it is unusual, out of place, as you put it, is a great way. Have you ever? What is the best apparition or the most clear thing that you've seen or heard in all the years that you've done this?
Well, I got two, really. I saw somebody standing right in front of me that had turned, walked, and disappeared from probably 6 to 7 feet.
Yeah.
Okay? It's a little different.
Yeah.
And I will tell you this, me and Richel were on an investigation here at a local place, and we had seen what looked like a little shadow, and we rolled a ball to the shadow, because this was at a school. So we thought it was probably a kid or something like that. We rolled the ball. The ball stopped. And then what happened?
We asked whoever we thought we were seeing if they could roll the ball back. So it was sitting there for a couple seconds. It was sitting there for a little bit, enough that you knew that it had stopped. And we just start talking, and then we look over to check what's going on, and we see the shadow look like it kicked the ball, and the ball started coming back to us.
Now, being ghost hunters, being paranormal investigators, this is something that we're used to, correct? Something that we should be able to deal with.
It's something you're looking for, but if you don't see it often, you're not really used to it. You're used to coming up empty.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so we ask questions all the time, and sometimes things will move for us when we ask. But I have never seen the shadow that we were seeing interact and then it move.
So here's our reaction. Of course, this is nice. This is cool. This is neat. she falls over like a dead possum.
Yeah, I play possum. Brian goes to
And I
hit
tried
me.
punch her. Like, did you see that?
He tries to hit me to get my
And she's
attention,
like-
and I just tried to melt
That's how we
into the
react.
ground. I was watching still, but I was like, I've never had something I've never seen that. I'm not going to run, but I'm just going to kind of like blend in and
I'm just
watch.
going to lay here and hope they don't see me if I don't move.
Yeah.
Also, I would say at the Conjuring house when we did the film Sleepless, Unrest,
Yeah.
we were all sitting at the table, and we really weren't doing anything to provoke anything to happen. We were kind of just talking, right? Didn't we just finish eating, kind of?
I don't know which incident you're referring to.
The babies on the wall.
Oh, well, yeah, we were talking, we were investigating, asking questions. We were asking them to do something.
Okay, you're right.
And
Then we hear on the outside of the house, it sounded like somebody hit the outside of the house, went around the side of the room, and then all of a sudden the door flew open.
the house shook.
Yeah, it was loud. And so that was kind of a moment that we were like, holy shit. Because it took us for a surprise.
It wasn't me.
Oh,
It wasn't me.
We'll see if that dump button works.
We're going to find out.
sorry about that.
He said another word for dump.
Holy cow.
So let's hope in the next like 20 seconds that it takes to build up our 7-second dump that nobody else says the word dump again.
Okay.
But no, yeah. All right. So,
It's me this time.
suddenly,
Yeah.
Sergeant Brian is Sergeant Potty Mouth, and we do have Saint. You know what? I'm going to eat my words. So there you go. At least 10 minutes into the show, we'll see.
Well,
Usually I've dropped at least like 6 by now. So I feel like I'm winning today.
Yeah. You know what? If nobody else has told you this today, you're doing great so far.
Thank you.
I'd be better.
and you're here to invite folks to come out and investigate with you on November 5th.
Yep.
And I'm lucky enough to have done that already, but, I had access to this building, which they never investigated.
So tell us about the November 5th.
Another famous Alton building.
Yeah, probably one of our favorite spots, one of our favorite locations, the Mineral Springs, downtown Alton. We've investigated there probably over 100 times.
Yeah.
We still continue to go there. So
Yeah.
we do a lot of events where we go to different cities and different states. We wanted to come to our hometown and do it for everybody here. And we were going to bring a guest with us who was also on Ghost Hunters. He was on Ghost Hunters International. I mean, he's been on TV for every bit of probably 15, 16 years. So he's going to come with us. His name's Dustin Perry. And
He's an awesome, awesome person. One of the nicest people you will ever meet.
And isn't he a surgeon or something?
he's in the medical field.
Okay.
But you're not going to meet a nicer guy than him. I'm just dead serious.
I'm creeped out by that. He's in the medical field. Like, what? He's one of those aliens that, like, cut me open and pull out all my bad feelings?
No, I believe he works in oral surgeon's office,
Oh, well, that's even creepier. I'm going to be honest.
which is wonderful because I'm also in the dental field.
Oh.
So me and him chat about different things.
Looking for a
I know what
sedative
he's thinking
dentist.
about.
I'm looking for a sedative dentist.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll get a hold of you with it.
Yeah, okay, because my wife.
I'll put you to sleep.
I bet you will.
That was so creepy how you said that. It's almost like
I told you as soon as she said oral hygienist, I said that's even creepier.
Yeah.
And where did it go? Right off.
I'll put you to sleep.
Yeah. The Sandman.
No kidding.
Oh, okay.
So 3 ghost hunters.
Yep.
Yes.
And people can join in and they can get tickets. It's Everbright, right? Where they can get
Yep,
tickets.
it's on
for that?
Eventbrite right now. Tickets
Eventbrite.
are going pretty quick. So
Yeah. That is for November 5th.
Yeah.
there you go.
And I would suggest if you're going, watch Sleepless Unrest first. Because then when you're hanging out with these guys the next day, it's kind of surreal. Because you're like, I was just watching a movie. And now I'm standing next to... That's kind of what happened to me when we did the Stratford. Especially once it's dark and like the light is all we're using, because in that film it's always like black and white or
Yeah.
dark or something. As soon as that kind of mode kicks in, you're like, wow, I'm in a film or something.
Well, and if you're medicated right when you watch the film and then
Yeah.
tailgate plenty before the next day, you're really gonna just think you're in a movie.
Right.
You know, you're gonna be like, I don't know what's happening anymore.
Yeah.
That's
I gotcha.
Yeah.
And hey, it's cool to see that. In my opinion, it is. This is something that we really do.
Yeah.
Instead of a camera being in front of, we were into
Yeah.
the investigation, right?
It was surreal.
We just got
It was
going
like,
and
yeah.
did our thing. We didn't care. This is what we did before any of the TV stuff. This is the stuff we still do.
Yeah. And it was the investigation with Riverbend Paranormal we
Yep.
did originally. And you guys caught wind of some of the stuff they experienced and was like, hey, we need to get in there and do that. So we've done it twice since then, a short one and a longer one. And it was pretty
And we want to do it
interesting.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not dropping hints.
Right.
But I'm dropping hints.
Wink, wink.
I'm not dropping hints. I'm throwing them at you, man.
So how
say-
long has it been since you did Mineral Springs, though? Has it been a while?
Like a full-blown investigation. It's been a while, right?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Chip, chip, cheerio. The queen.
It's been a little bit.
It's about a little bit, yeah. Well, hey, just a wink, bit. Hey, what's going on here?
know.
Where are we?
I didn't
man?
really know how to respond to you. We've been there
So you did it.
to investigate.
Did it with an accent.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to respond, so
She
I
gets,
thought I'd do it British
The
style.
questions are thrown off. She's English after that.
I don't really know.
Cheerio.
That's good stuff there.
So, yeah, if you want to join the Ghost Hunters, that's November 5th at Mineral Springs Mall. And lots of fun stuff going on there this winter we'll be having.
It's a great building. It's a great building.
It's a wonderful building.
Pigpen found a debunker of the Mineral Springs stories.
He's not a debunker. You got it. You probably know Dan. He runs the museum there. Him and his wife have or him and I guess Donna is their name. I forget. Have the
Dave and
ratings.
Donna.
Yeah, Dave and Donna. You know Dave. So it's not that Dave is a debunker. He has articles and facts and stuff that maybe
different from the
from
barber.
some of these than
stories.
things that maybe Wayne and some of the other people have said. And it's not that he's debunking the stories. He's saying maybe some of the facts are off.
Okay.
But you can't deny old articles and stuff that were definitely written that have dates and times. So I found Dave to be very interesting. I was actually trying to get him to come on here before Halloween, but I don't know.
I would say check
forgot
out their
to
shop,
call him.
the Zen shop.
Yeah, the
as
Raining
well.
Zen is beautiful.
Raining Zen is awesome.
Yeah.
They, we talked to them, quite a bit, and what they did with the mineral.
Yeah.
It's been great.
Absolutely.
They have a museum there now with artifacts. I'm actually going
That's-
to be donating some things to him.
Nice.
That's what I mean. That museum has a lot of cool stuff in it, and yeah, it's just. I find Dave to be an interesting guy so far, but I don't know him that well. But he definitely had a lot of, like you say, artifacts and old articles and things that. So I wouldn't say he's debunking it. He's
Okay.
just contradicting maybe some of the facts.
There's nothing wrong with having factual
Oh, there you
information.
have. Yeah,
It
it's-
actually helps things out, right?
absolutely.
He's finding history on the building and sharing it.
Bingo, right
Historian?
there. That's what it is. He is like a
Which-
historian with it.
I got you.
If we're going to talk about the spirit side of it, if someone's getting your story wrong, that could be upsetting. So he's helping.
Yeah.
He's correcting the story
Okay.
so
That's-
that people actually know what happened. Or
That's
what
kind
went
of
on.
that's kind of how I felt. More than a debunker, more a let's get the facts straight on,
Okay.
on
The
the
thing
story.
about it, when
kinda
we go
thing.
in and do any kind of investigation, one of the things that we say right off the bat is, hey, we're not here to bother you, harm you, hurt you. We're here to let you tell your story.
Yeah.
Because everybody's heard what happened in Gettysburg from books and stuff like that, but who
What
could
happened
tell
there?
it better? Gettysburg, they had a big fight. Big fight.
This thing happened.
Was it a party? Was it like Woodstock?
I don't believe that it was. I feel
Slight
like it was-
protest.
When he said everybody knows, I just had to act like well, somebody
Yeah.
does. So,
Who best to tell what happened there than
the people
somebody
who
that
were
was there?
And I think it's really interesting if we do get evidence or what we believe is evidence, and then we can find something to back it up.
Yeah.
So if we get a name and then we get a person who stayed in that room, their name, it just helps kind of, validate what we're doing and who we're talking to.
Well, and like you say, that they probably want the truth out there. Like some people are more about trying to get the good story. Like we were up there with Dr. Lynch and Vicky Main, and they were asking some questions to some spirits, and I asked one if she was a prostitute. I mean, it's an old hotel, and she said yes, right?
Yeah.
So
the dowsing rods were answering questions.
But the thing is, like, they laughed at it. It's like, well, hey, I'm just trying to get the truth out here, and maybe find out if I want to come back after this is over.
Right, I get you. I get it.
Yeah.
Just for my personal.
Right.
How much did you charge?
Yeah.
Just want to know what the rate was then.
$25
2 halfpennies.
But, like, if you think about it, that's not a bad question, because if she was, she's not going to be upset about telling someone. That's how she makes her money.
Right.
Yeah, you
And
kidding me?
back then, prostitution was just another job.
Right.
It still is just another job.
I think we've evolved
I mean,
a little bit more.
you're talking about the legality of it, I guess. Like out in Vegas, it's still just a job.
It
I'm pretty
is.
sure. So, yeah. Anyway,
They probably make more money than.
I don't know.
that
You know
for
what?
sure.
I'm going to be
I don't
honest.
know how much they make.
I'm going to. Sure,
I've
you don't.
heard.
Sure,
I
you know how
know,
much
I
they
know.
charge. You don't know how much
do
they make.
pimps make?
Pimps
Because
make-
I'm thinking about pimping you out. How much do they make?
Well,
I'm going to tell you this much. I've done some seedy things, and I met some girls, and I heard prostitution paid well, but when I tried, it cost me way more than what I'm sorry, this is going.
I like that you're honest.
Is this thing on? Is this? Let's hope not.
You've employed people.
Oh my gosh!
Good job, you.
Are you seeking gainful employment? All right. So let before we gotta cover a few gigs here, but I do have one more question because I'll forget it by the time we do this.
We don't have a clock, so I mean,
Well,
that means we can just go as we go.
It doesn't.
That one's stuck at 8:15.
That's
dead
what it
on
was,
the nose.
Yeah, and then the
And now this is
computers
froze up.
stuck at 5:59:08. And
So there are 8 involved.
time has stopped since the. Just saying. All right, so
entities.
here's the question. We were talking about visual entities that you have seen or whatever. Have you ever had visual or even audio that wouldn't go away? No matter how much you wanted them to leave you alone, they would not.
I think that some things will stick around for.
No, I mean, like, you can see them and they will not go away. They're following you, and
No.
you rub your eyes, you do everything you can to make them go away, and they will not go away.
Has this happened to you?
Yes, and that's why I wonder if it's happened to you.
It has not, but now we're interested.
Yeah.
Let's turn the questions to you.
Well, no,
Who this is?
Are they here now?
No, I've never seen them
Why are you
again.
looking over there?
It only happened one
We're
time.
asking. They're not asking over there.
Why are you
Still-
doing that? See, it's that prostitute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the gal upstairs I'm winking at about him. Meet me there.
So you've had this happen.
Yeah, but you haven't. That's even more interesting because this is your thing.
Well, but we've learned through investigating and stuff like that how to look. Entities are just people like we are.
Our non-people, yeah.
So, well, yes, if you generally tell them, "Hey, this isn't a comfortable space for me right now. You're here. I'd like you to go back where you're comfortable. Can't be here. I'll maybe come back and visit you." Generally, it works. You
If you
set boundaries.
Yeah, set boundaries with them.
I've never learned to set boundaries right. It's a stepdad thing. No, I'm
And
just-
it's happened to, I know it's
don't
happened to
even have-
her. I know it's happened to myself.
So you have had entities that wouldn't leave you alone.
Yeah, when we got back from the Conjuring house, we all had things happen for months.
But it wasn't
Months.
like they were just there the whole time. Like
No,
where you could.
I haven't had something where I haven't.
Not
personally.
where they were just like there, but they did make themselves known
Gotcha.
Yes.
quite a bit. Like I
Yes.
didn't see visually somebody in my kitchen,
Right.
but the doors would open, the lights would. My sons would ask about it. You know, like why does the light keep coming on? Shit like that, stuff like that. Dump. Hit it. Sorry.
Anyway,
Stuff like that.
yeah,
I'm doing so good.
you are doing so
Lost
good.
the game.
That's 2-2 now.
I know.
It was 2 for her last time, 2 for him this time.
I'm saving them up for the end, and I'm just gonna hit you, boom, 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 with all of them.
Just your
I won't be
Yeah.
quick enough to
I was
stop.
gonna say we're gonna. Oh yeah, it takes too long for the dump to rebuild. Don't do that. Yeah.
Yeah. well,
Okay. Well. All. Like I say, just I just.
How long did
curious.
this last?
What? How long we been here?
no his
Oh, his
encounter
thing.
that
Oh
is
yeah,
last.
they're investigating stuff. I forgot.
You can't drop something
No,
like you've
this is what we
visually
do.
seen
That's right.
someone,
It's
and then just
so-
like moving on.
We're on the case
Well,
now.
we're here to talk about you guys. Your
Yeah,
story.
but you can't hit us with something that's going
okay,
on.
so
I'm sure the
it went
listeners
on.
wanna
It
know.
went on for I don't know miles and miles of New Mexico and Arizona, and
Tell the full story. Just tell.
So I'm driving.
one of my favorites.
I'm driving back. I'm driving through like Arizona, New Mexico, whatever, coming across the Southwest, and it's middle of the night kind of thing, and all of a sudden there's this thing outside my car, and he's running really fast, and he's looking at me like sideways. He's running like even with the car, but looking over at me in the driver's seat, and he's smiling and waving the whole time. And he wouldn't go away, and you try to speed up, and he would speed up and run faster and smile and wave. And if you slowed down, he slowed down, and it went on.
Like super fast.
Oh, yeah, I was in a car. I was on the interstate. I could drive as fast. I was driving 60, 70 miles an hour, and he's just running and chasing me. So, okay, so Skinwalker is what you're showing me there. So with what I had heard him called, I didn't hear him called this. At that time, I got back in town, and I told a friend of ours at the time, Eddie Vegas, or I guess named Bill Borland.
Yeah.
We called him Eddie Vegas. But anyway, Bill
That's
Borland.
not even close.
Yeah. Anyway, it was.
They're known by
We'll
many
call you Eddie
names.
Vegas.
Yeah. You can call me about anything and I'll answer. But anyway, so I tell this guy, because we were kind of staying together. I said, man, I told him about the experience. I'm like, it was fresh in my mind, and those kind of things are fleeting, because after a while, that's down south and I'm up here, and you forget about stuff. And years had actually passed since the incident happened. I want to say 94, 95, somewhere in there. And I got married in 2000, so it was after I got married. So you're talking 6, 7 years later. I'm sitting in the living room with my wife watching TV, and it was those paranormal, one of the paranormal shows from back in that time. They called them shapeshifters. And the people that saw them on this stretch of desert that I was in, and they all described them exactly what I said: running, smiling, and waving. And they, like, you can rub your eyes, they won't go away, they won't leave. Like, they're friendly enough, but still creepy. Like, after a while.
Are they friendly though?
Well, they seemed.
I mean, they seem friendly until you stop, right?
Well, I didn't stop to find out. I'm not stupid.
If something's running and keeping up with your car, I think you should just keep going.
Yeah. If there's a bunch of
At
of them
first-
stopped in front of my car, I'm still going to keep going.
Go
And we're going to
through
see
them.
what happens. Yeah,
Right.
because that's my. But the funny thing was, as I'm watching this with my wife, I said, I think I saw one of these things. And as soon as I say that, the phone rings, and it's Bill Borland, or Eddie Vegas. And he goes, dude, what you saw years ago was a shapeshifter, because he was watching the same thing on TV and remembered my description of it. But it was odd
Well,
at best.
Skinwalkers, shapeshifters, they can take the shape and form of pretty much anything. Animals, things like that. And the area that you're talking about is like,
Portal.
it's where it's at.
Yeah.
Arizona,
Lots of them.
New Mexico,
I had
and
never,
things like that. The desert.
I had never heard anything about those particular creatures, critters, entities, whatever they are, and really the only reason I ended up that far south. Oddly enough, it was right after the Oklahoma City bombings, and all my friends kept saying I looked like John Doe too. And I on the way out, I drove right past the building and thought they're looking to nab somebody. If I get pulled over, I'm, like
You look guilty.
They're like, yeah, Terry. We didn't even know his name was Terry Nichols at the time. They were just calling him John Doe 1 and 2. It's still a fresh wound, And I'm like, they're gonna nab somebody, and all my friends say I look just like the guy. Like, so on the way home, I decided to go west, and
So you were running.
You were a fugitive.
well,
You
no,
were a fugitive on the run.
no, I was out following the Grateful Dead across country, and just happened
I
to.
think he's copped to it.
No.
We got him.
We got him.
Oh gosh.
The crow flies at night.
It's been a long time coming, boys. No, hey, I had nothing to do with any of that. It was just like one of those, my friends kept telling me I looked like the guy, and I'm like, well, I'm not driving back by there again. They pull me over for nothing, and they're going to be like,
But if you didn't do anything,
Yeah.
Duh.
Andy doesn't look like the guy.
You-
We were just messing with him because we knew we knew he was out there.
he was a red-headed guy.
How many hours out
He's
of your
just
way did
finding
you
out,
drive
look,
to not?
I have purposely drove around Kansas to not go. You know how long it takes to drive around the state of Kansas just because you
Yes.
don't want to go through that state?
because you're wanted.
No, not because I wanted. Because I once had
Following the Grateful Dead.
I once had a police
You
officer
did
on
have
the
a bad incident there.
on the high side of Highway 70. Tell me as he told me I could leave to not catch me. He didn't want to catch me there again, which seems like I was in a TV show. But I thought, well, I'm driving around that state next time. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to not go through 70, you just got to go all the way around Kansas pretty much anyway.
And, just to bring it full circle, he had dental supplies in the van, the whole tank.
and a receipt to prove that I did not steal those dental supplies.
He did,
And
true.
there was the issue. I don't know. Anyway.
So there you go.
Yeah, I see. Again back to the oral hygienist. I told you, creepy.
Right, yeah.
Wow, 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 wow.
So, yeah, we're talking about coming up November 5th, Mineral Springs Mall, investigation with the ghost hunters. And we'll talk more about that, but I have no
man.
idea what time it is, and
you
some
know,
of this
it's-
stuff's already started. So
Does anybody really know what
6:35.
time it is? Does anybody
6:35.
really care?
no one cares.
I'm just singing some Chicago here.
So luckily, I mentioned already the sea shanties underway and the Everhart and Lights open mic.
Yeah,
at
there you
Bakers
go.
and Hale, and then Nick Sturgis. He's the one that started at 6 up at George's local brew. Other than that, I think we got time.
All right. We got time. What we got
We
time
may only
to
get
do?
through Thursday, but
Oh,
I'm enjoying the ghost stories.
Well, I don't even know what's happening anymore. I was just interested in finding out about the grayish brown people and where they come from.
Oh, that street right out there. That's where it was.
Yeah.
What's that street called?
Let's see. This is Market, so what's that one? 20?
Third? No,
I don't know. That's
Yeah.
not-
Somewhere
it's a number.
between 20th and 3rd.
20 and 5 and 8. We're
If
bad
you-
with numbers.
If you go left and after you've crossed the
it's
road,
3rd.
you're on 3rd Street there
I
for
just
sure.
remembered
So,
something else that was odd about it.
all right, this is what I want to hear.
This building, that area up there, doesn't have a lot of people in it most times.
Right.
Correct?
Yep.
If you could see where I'm sitting and you're walking by, wouldn't you look in my direction?
Right.
Or
Plus,
at least be like, dang, what's up?
it's on a hill.
Right.
So, and what you seen went straight across. We
There
talked
was no
about it that
hill.
night.
Yeah. The hill.
Whether it was outside or not. We
didn't
kind
go
of.
up.
Yeah.
It went straight across. It didn't even make the attempt to look in my direction. And I was probably like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Like,
He was probably doing the same thing when he got around the corner to his buddies, to his grayish brown friends. He's like, oh my gosh, there's
the
a
thing
guy
about
in
that is,
there.
though, I bet you it wasn't 5 seconds after I saw him go past the window that I was at the window looking around for somebody out there.
Yeah.
And I saw nobody.
And I'm just
And when there's a presence, whether it's visual, audible, or just that creepy feeling sometimes, when it's there and then suddenly gone that quick, you're like, wait a minute, how could you?
How'd you do that?
I just heard you. Where
Yeah.
did you go?
And I remember I'm just getting to know Brian, right? And he's explaining to me I'm not normally like this. And about the time I'm trying to process that, everyone else in the group is like, no, he's not normally like this.
You know what, though?
I'm like,
I'm starting to think that's a line, because when he put his hand in my pocket earlier, he said, I'm not normally like this. He's got his hand in my pocket. She's trying to put me to sleep. I don't know if I'm being robbed or I don't know what's going
When we
on.
start running past you, smiling and waving, then you have problems.
You know what? In all honesty, like, I don't know why I was so creeped out. I've been more creeped out by other things. I don't know
How fast
why.
was your car going?
Once he started running, once the thing was running next to me, it wasn't my car, it was a loaner, but it was going as fast.
Oh my God! You were going across country in a stolen car.
Not a stolen car.
It wasn't my car. It was a loaner. I borrowed it from someone who didn't know.
No, she knew very well I left her my car, and I told her if I came back with no car, she could have mine. It was a deal we made.
All of this sounds
Because
so
you
fishy.
just
It is
did
fishy.
the bombing and
Right.
he needed a different vehicle.
Look, I need your car, okay? You can keep mine. I don't know how long I'm going to make it.
Okay, so look, I'm saying
They thought that they were chasing us.
No, I will be honest. It was an odd situation. I was heading out to see some Grateful Dead shows.
That's the story we're going with
I
still.
knew
Okay.
I knew a girl who had a car that ran much better than mine and had more room for, like, taking stuff and passengers and whatnot. And then, like, so I was crossing the country in a car that didn't belong to me, and I had two kids with me that were
Stole kids.
What?
no, they weren't stolen. It was my friend's
He
son.
also borrowed the kid.
No, I didn't even want the kids.
That's why he went to the
He
desert.
said I had to make an exchange, and they were
No, I didn't make an exchange. I was heading out on Dead Tour. My friend, who lived in Collinsville, not far from here, had a son. His name was Hash, but it doesn't matter what his name was.
Why?
Hash and his
I don't know if I
friend-
want to know this question, but why are you speaking in past tense?
I'm assuming he lived a hard life. I don't know. He was a kid then. He's probably fine. I don't know. I haven't seen him for a long time.
It's kind of weird, man. You're in the desert. You're running.
No, I'm not
Speaking
running.
of past
I'm not
Past
running.
tense?
No, okay.
You're talking about
His
a
name-
kid that
his
you're
name-
taking, but
his
he
name-
was a
his-
great kid.
Well, he's not a kid anymore.
Right,
He's
'cause
a
he's in
grown
the
man.
desert.
I'm assuming he's a grown man by now. And she asked me if her son and his friend Keith could get a ride with me to see some Grateful Dead shows, and they were like 16, 17, and his mom asked me to take him. It wasn't like I was, taking a minor across state lines without permission.
So the mom gave the kids away.
No, I brought him back at some point.
Did
like-
you go through?
They
Did you go
were
around
they
again?
were actually both passed out in the car when it happened.
Lord.
I would stop.
Passed out in the desert. He had.
Hash, please tell me you're still with us. If you're hearing this, Hash, blink twice.
Like twice. Look,
now you know why he married a lawyer. Because he doesn't speak well for himself.
she could tell this story way better than me.
She's like, he broke about like 17 laws.
Yeah.
There would be a lot of allegedly and things like that being used.
Allegedly, he took children.
Look, they weren't kids. They were like, 16 or whatever. I don't know.
That's a good.
Look.
I'm not going to say it. I'm going to filter myself. Never
Okay,
mind.
here- so I have a 16-year-old son, and right now, if some person wanted to take him across state lines, I guess I would be like, whatever, I don't care. He's 16, he can fight for himself. He's bigger than me. Does that make me a bad parent? Okay, I'm probably a bad parent.
110% no.
Just gonna,
This is why I'm not allowed to make decisions at home. I
just say,
guess.
how do we I have a comment for you to determine if it's a kid or not.
Look, but okay, so in this country, you can drink when you're 21, you can go to war when you're 18, you can emancipate yourself at 17, you can drive a vehicle that could easily kill hundreds of people at 16. I don't know what's going on in this crazy country. All I know is that these kids' parents asked me, will you take my kids to see a Grateful Dead show? And that was 95. Jerry died that year. So had I not taken them, they would have never seen the Dead. You know, it was pretty magical, if you ask me.
Does Hash think it was magical?
Well, to be honest, I didn't talk to him a lot when we were out in the desert. I pretty much...
Did you hear that sentence? Hold on.
What?
I didn't talk to him much when we were in the desert.
Well, like, I need that.
He
Look,
was
They were
busy
gagged
digging.
and bound.
no, you got to understand. If you had ever been to a Grateful Dead show, it's a big circus, and it's kind of like you can't, like, okay, my older brother was a Deadhead, and whenever I went to my first Dead show, he said, "Hey, man, you know, don't try to ride my coattails. I'm going to be flying around, and just go do your own thing." And I thought, well, that's weird. And then I got what he meant, because you're busy, you're running around, there's people everywhere. I don't have time to take care of you guys, so let's, like, you know, just get a hold of me. I'm parking at the McDonald's parking lot. You'll see my car. We'll talk. And so, like, you know, we all just hung out in the desert for a while. We bounced around a couple towns. I don't remember. And then on the way home, we went down south. How are we talking about all this? We're supposed to be talking about you guys and ghost
we're
hunters.
investigators.
There were a couple things with your story that raised some flags, so we had to ask more questions.
Look,
See, they're legit, man.
God hates flags. I don't know if that's religiously true or not. I'm just trying to get out of this and change the subject. Flags are just symbols, man, and you guys... I don't know. Look,
Frankie and House Shakers is underway at Patrick's.
Bingo, that's what I wanted to talk about. Let's talk
Granite.
about shaking some houses.
We took over the show.
I love
That
it.
we did.
Yeah, they hijacked my show. I'm the hijacker. How did that happen?
That's good.
The hijacker just
I'm
got
going to hold my
hijacked.
pocket here in a second.
They've been here a couple of times now. They know what you're up to. So
No one says no. They just are like,
He's
okay.
going to go right over me to get it.
You were in the way.
I am in the way.
Look,
Well, I'll ask my mom if I can go to the desert with you.
dude, I tell you what, we'll have a good time.
you can take your VW van.
Heck yeah.
He'll love that.
You know what's great about the desert? It's what we said earlier. It's hot in the day and cold at night. So, you know, you can sleep in the freezing cold and you wake up and it's steaming hot.
It depends on which desert you go to. I went to one that's not very...
very cold or very hot.
It was very hot. It was 150 degrees.
That's a little too hot for me.
Yeah. You didn't really pay too much attention to it, though.
But I do like the desert, man. There's a lot of strange things out in
Lots
the
of
desert.
strange things.
Yeah.
You keep bringing it back.
You do.
Bring it on back. Bring it on back. I don't know. You know what we should bring back?
What?
Talking about gigs. Oh my gosh, get me out of here.
Kurt Copeland and the Consequences.
I'm suffering those
6
right
to
now.
9 already underway at Prairie Inn and Dorsey.
Yeah, okay.
Now I'm totally caught up with what already started.
But that is, I think, with Experience Live Music Row thrown in there, that takes care of that. There are and Shotgun Creek. Shotgun Creek's playing at Silver Creek Saloon in Belleville, and then
I was
Experience Live Music Rows in Belleville. Whew.
I was just doing the 6 o'clock ones. I did make the open mic with Butch Moore starts at 7. The Corners Tavern in Edwardsville tonight.
Whew, I feel good.
So, you catching your breath there, bub?
No, not yet, but I'm getting there.
10:55 band.
That's a good
7
one.
o'clock at the Fast Eddies.
That's
Bone
a lot
Air.
of numbers.
Yep.
So, wow.
Ghost Hunters, November 5th. Mineral Springs Mall. Join them for an investigation overnight. Well, it's 7 p.m. to 1 a.m., but
That's still a
sounds
long
better
time.
when you say
Yeah,
overnight.
because we're going to get right to the nitty gritty. We're going to not right off the bat. We're gonna
You can't
talk.
get to the nitty gritty before midnight.
We're going to get to know everybody, and then we're going to,
We're going to have fun and hopefully see some ghosts.
yeah, with Dustin.
All right.
Right.
All right. And so, just to help clear my mind, in all the years of doing this, how often do you see ghosts? Like on an average, like 1 out of every 10 investigations, 1 out of every 100. How like Like, how often is it that you
I
actually
think it
see
depends
one?
on who you are and how sensitive you are.
I mean, you personally, like what's your, like, yeah, I'm not asking for your exact batting average. I'm just kind of like, is there a 50-50 chance we're going to see a ghost down there? Or is it, you know, because I wouldn't think it would be that high, to be honest.
It's not
It
high.
isn't.
But then again, you know, I asked about the apparitions and stuff because I'm not a ghost hunter yet. I've had multiple different experiences in my life that make me go, there's some weirdness going on out there.
So you're going to come next time?
As soon as we set it up, you need to check it out, at least.
I will have to come down. What was the date on this? November 5th. I got to be somewhere. No, actually.
No, when we
No,
come
he's
here.
talking about
Yeah,
when
when we
they
come
come
here.
back.
Oh yeah. Oh, you kidding me? I love going to the upstairs of this place, man. Like, it's probably not as cool as it used to be, but if you went, like, I don't know if we're supposed to talk about this because I don't know if we're supposed to ever be up there, but if you go all the way to the upstairs like about a year ago,
Should have hit
it
dome.
felt like you were in an abandoned insane asylum. There was like no walls, but just the you know, metal poles that hold the piers up, and the walls were all
Same.
stained, and it was just
That sounds crazy.
Oh,
I'd
it was-
love to see that.
oh, it is awesome. I don't know if it's still like that because I mean, like, I think.
I feel like it's probably still like
Probably
that.
is.
Yeah. I think the last time we went up there, like, Moyer probably still owned the building. I don't even think it's the same owner, but yeah, it was all get out.
We'll set it
creepy.
up.
He's just
Yeah.
getting himself in more trouble. Isn't he?
Whatever. You got a problem with anything I said? Contact my lawyer, please,
wife.
please.
Do you go to a different lawyer, though?
I have had to go to a different lawyer on occasion.
Is it because she's like, you're guilty? She's like, I can't.
No,
She's
no.
like, how am I supposed to get you out of this?
No, it's because she only does criminal law, and I've had to have other types of lawyers in my life. There's if you're buying land, sometimes you need an attorney involved.
It's
Yeah.
good money.
How convenient
Yeah.
that all this
Buying
stuff
land.
happened in the desert, and now you're married to a criminal lawyer.
It is.
The pause in there between criminal and lawyer was just perfect.
So was her English accent earlier.
It was spot on. But anyway, let's talk about you guys. I don't know what we're doing here. You keep shining the light on me, and there's nothing happening over here.
I think it's just funny.
I'm as normal as I'm the most normal straight shooting guy you're going to come across in your life, and there's nothing weird over here. So let's move on.
That totally made you sound safe.
Yeah.
Are we getting out of here?
Yeah.
Not alive if you ask me any more questions. That's
That's a total threat. Go, go, go.
You're by the door.
I'm between you and the door.
Block me.
Hold my pocket. Oh my gosh. But hey, what's happening Friday night? Is there anything happening Friday
Broken
night?
Circle is going to be at the Conservatory.
Oh, and a broken circle is perfect. That sounds awesome.
8 to 11.
Hey, grab some wood there, bub.
I gotta stand up.
He's trying to make a run for it.
By the mic.
He's trying to make a run for it.
No, I'm not running.
Look, Hotel California, baby.
The knee locks up every now and then.
I feel you on that one. Yeah, straightening the old. Sometimes I wish I could bend them backwards just a little bit because it seems like it would straighten out all the. I don't know.
Is that what you did to Hash?
Dude,
He wouldn't fit,
Listen.
okay? He had to do something.
listen.
It's like Tales from the Crypt.
So Hash was like 16 in 1995. So he's like a grown man now.
I'm about to Google him. Is that his real name?
It's the only thing I ever heard his mother call him by.
His mom called him that?
She's the one who named him that, I assume.
Hash?
Hash?
Like hash brown?
Hashish.
Hash brown.
Hash brown?
Hashish.
That's what they fed him. You know,
November 5th.
Look,
Mineral
his-
Springs.
Mineral Springs.
that's good.
It will be twice as creepy as anything happening here. So, let's. Yeah.
So is Dustin's going to speak, right?
Yeah, we're all going to probably talk to everybody. And
So I hope he brings up his incident at Clark Air Force Base. Have you
We
ever
will
been to
make
Clark?
sure.
Have you ever been to Clark?
No, I don't think so.
That's
No, we
Philippines. Yeah.
We'll make sure that he talks about it. If you want to hear it, you're going to get to hear it.
Oh, okay. There
The
you go.
Philippines.
Yeah.
I'll text him right now.
Yeah. I just read a little blurb about that, and I've been to Clark Air Force Base, so I'm like, okay, that'd be interesting.
He is probably the nicest guy I've ever met. And sometimes I'm like, my God, I'm going to hell because that dude is.
Can he say that word?
Yeah, you're legal.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a place.
So hell is fine. We can drop hell all day long.
Well, it's not real fine. It's kind of warm.
It's warm? Okay.
I mean, it's no purgatory.
You know.
Maybe.
Or you're in it now, so maybe.
No. Purgatory's an ice cream shop.
What?
I think he's coming in on Friday.
He might be.
Yeah.
I think he's coming in on
So
Friday. Yeah.
maybe if you guys are around, we can see if he wants to come up here and chit chat.
Okay, maybe, yeah.
I'm
Not
not
necessarily
allowed.
on the show,
I'm not
just to
allowed in the building on Fridays. They allow me in here 1 hour on Thursdays, and that's
I got a
it.
key, so.
I don't have a key.
keys anymore, do we?
I don't have. None
We
of
used to
that.
have keys. Now it's just an automatic. You know a number, you can get in.
What's that number? Just
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
give it to you.
real quick.
I'll give it to you later.
555.
Yeah, 8675.
It's Waterford 409. Oh man! See,
Now, Dustin was talking about because that was like Grand Central for World War II as far as the Far East. We launched a lot of airplanes out of there.
We did one like that from Wendover.
And I guess it was a hospital or something that they went through. Well, they probably went through several buildings, but once again, the whole war thing being around that
Oh, yeah.
place.
Now this who's the guy who went to the Philippines?
Dustin.
Dustin.
He's going to be there.
Dustin Perry, the
November
speaker,
5th, Mineral Springs.
and he has been to Clark Air Force Base.
Yeah, he's an
in the
international
Philippines.
guy, right?
Now, has
He
Saint
was-
Richel has wrote letters to the Philippians? Probably. It's in the Bible.
The Filipinos, not the Philippines.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting confused. See,
I just was looking at you like, where are we going with this? What are we doing?
I'm just trying to be part of the story. Yeah, I'm just trying to be part of the conversation.
Dump.
Yeah, dump.
Yeah.
Just dump because that was just bad. Like not because he actually said a bad word. It was just bad. Like let's help you out.
If we start dumping every time he goes off the rails, I'm going to just have to hold the button down.
You'll
gonna
never
be dead air
You'll
forever.
never rebuild the 7 seconds. You'll never rebuild the buffer. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Look.
Yes, he was on Ghost Hunters International.
Right.
He's been on Ghost Hunters. He's actually doing some of the new season right now. He's also got something called Pathways, where it's like an interactive investigation where the viewer tells him and his partner, Brian Cano, which way to investigate, how to investigate, what they're bringing, things like that. So that's really cool.
The subject telling the artist what to do, that's like a can of soup telling Warhol where to buy speed. This just doesn't make any sense to me. This just doesn't
It's
make
cool,
any
man.
sense.
Like, he's a very knowledgeable. He's going to be great. I mean,
That's awesome.
We've already done an event with him.
Yeah, we had a good time and we're excited to.
The house
do
in
this one.
between two is something he did.
Yes,
Yes.
he's in the house in
He's in
between
that.
two.
Same Kendall and Vera
Yeah, who
did
did
Sleepless Unrest.
Right.
So they did House in Between 2,
Sleepless Unrest.
Sleepless.
And I'm sure that we will see more from them as well.
We may.
All right.
Yeah. And you were asking earlier if any of the ghosts kind of stick around for a long time, and then you went off on your story.
I'm sorry.
He just said right before we went on air, I had a dream about the Conjuring.
Yeah.
He had 3 dreams in one night, which
This is going to be
powerful wet dreams.
3.
Yeah.
They weren't that. They were these were spooky ass dreams. And now that we've talked,
He's talking about a donkey.
Yeah, it's.
I was gonna say, was it far enough away from the mic that it doesn't matter?
I barely heard him say burrow.
As.
Yeah, the Aztecs.
As you were.
Yeah,
As
it was a
Spooky
scary
as
Aztec dream.
What a day.
And
Knocked it out of the park. Bro.
Yeah.
lean into the mic a little bit and then clean your language up, sir.
So, anyways, 3 dreams,
Set the
same
mood.
location. Set the mood. Scary.
Let me get some Barry White.
Yeah. 3 dreams at the same place. Now that we've talked about the Conjuring House, the movie Sleepless Unrest,
Right.
one of us will probably have something happen
Okay.
Yes. So what we've experienced is that we'll have activity and then it'll stop. But then as soon as someone asks us about the house or the movie and we talk about it, then activity starts kicking up at our house again.
Right.
Man, I got a great idea.
Now-
Once a week, we call them and leave them a message asking about The Conjuring. They'll never be
Folks
left
can
alone.
probably stream the Sleepless Unrest, I guess, somewhere.
Yeah, it's on Amazon and Vudu, and it was on Tubi for a while. I think it's still on Tubi,
It was on Discovery Plus.
Discovery Plus. It's on 29 different platforms.
But A&E wouldn't run it, those so-and-sos.
A&E didn't.
No, I know. You know, there's. I got
All those
an
other
extra.
places did, though.
I'm just trying to cause a fight
What
here,
about-
man.
What about the house in between, too? I guess folks could probably stream that somewhere, too. Huh?
Yeah,
More than likely.
probably on this close to the
Same stuff.
Yeah.
platforms. Yeah, it's out there everywhere.
Because I'm saying, do that, then go to this investigation on November.
Yeah.
If you want to have a real awesome Halloween,
Yeah,
that's how you do it.
I agree.
Because you got several weeks now to stream them. I would suggest doing it right before, like the night before.
I would suggest doing it daily.
Hey, there you go. Daily is good.
Daily.
Hey, very enjoyable movie. I have a copy that was Sleepless
Oh,
Unrest.
well, thank you.
Yeah.
He didn't buy it though. He downloaded it. It's pirated totally.
Right.
Can't say he's not wrong.
As long- whatever, man.
Oh my gosh. So there we go.
Which means I watch it
This is
over
fun.
and over, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I got
Keep
you.
it up.
I got you, man. Keep it on a loop. That would get creepy. I'm just saying, like, if that's all that was ever on when you walked in your house.
Actually, I did do that for a couple days.
Yeah.
Did you not do it? Have you seen it?
Have you seen the
Yeah,
movie?
I've watched it.
Since the theater?
Yeah.
Since the theater.
Yes, I've watched it since the theater.
They played
I
that at the.
have.
Hey, you know what I think you should do? You should ask her if she believes you, because you've only been best friends for a little.
Do you... Wait, you're supposed to ask me.
I believe you. Apparently, you don't believe me. We have some trust issues going on.
I believe you.
I think
Say
we.
that into the mic.
I believe her.
I think we need a trust fall.
You ready?
Am I falling towards you? You falling
can fall
towards me?
me.
You fall enough on your own. I don't need help.
Catch you.
So you guys premiered that at the Wild E, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
That was
pretty
fun.
Nice.
That was fun.
And nerve-wracking.
It was nerve-wracking because we had not seen it before. So that was our first time seeing the film, was in a theater full of
300 some people. The theater was completely full.
Nice.
sold out. And it's like, okay, well, let's watch this with
All these
300
people.
of our closest friends. And hopefully that...
Remember us sitting down going, hey, so if this sucks, just get up and leave and I'll follow you.
Which
on the bottom
didn't
floor by the
think it-
door.
we didn't think it was going to, because Kendall and Vera are such great filmmakers.
yeah, they do.
It's
And we
great.
were there, so we know what happened. And we're like, we had things
There
happen
was
the
stuff
whole
happening.
time we were there. So it's got to be good. But, you know, like if I look stupid on screen or you look stupid or whatever, we say something that we wish we wouldn't have said, which never happens.
Ever.
Me either.
We slowly need to get up and just, you know, exit the theater. So we had a game plan, but then it's also really weird to sit with your spouse and your children to watch something. Like Mom's head was on a theater screen with my retainers in, talking like it's just a different
Years of
thing.
therapy it'll take for them to get over that one.
Actually,
Yeah.
remember
Mom's
my kids
huge
kind of...
head.
Yeah.
My kids were kind of like, yeah, cool. Thanks, kids.
Yeah. My kids are so unimpressed with everything I do. They wouldn't even go see it if I was if I had a movie in the theaters. I couldn't pay them to go see it. They'd be like, "It's stupid. I got stuff to do."
Real quick, speaking of children and unimpressed, my 13-year-old son is unimpressed with how many people are following me. So if everybody listening could please go follow at Stratton Richel on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, because he told me unless I have a bagillion followers, it's not impressive.
He says here, according to his Twitter feed, that if you had more people following you than spirits, you'd be fine. No, I just made that up. I'm sorry. I don't follow your son on Twitter. I don't even know his name. You're giving me a look like, don't leave my son in the desert.
He doesn't have social media, but he watches a lot of YouTube. So when I tell him, oh my goodness, I have this many, or I just broke this number, he's like, I'm not impressed.
Yeah.
He's like, this person has 15 million and all they do is
All right.
play with toys.
We
I'm
don't know
like,
how to work the social media.
Yeah.
yet.
So anyway, help a girl out so then I can make my 13-year-old son eat his words.
Right.
Yeah,
She's trying to set an example.
And I feel you, man. My kids are like, well, if you want to impress us, you got to go viral, and it means something
Right?
totally different than what I grew up meaning as
Right?
viral. So, like, here I am at the clinic. They're still unimpressed.
I've got the virus.
Oh, yeah. That's so. I got to ask one question before we move on from the Wildy Theater because we're already over time. But
Which,
it doesn't
by the
matter.
way, the Rolling Stones and Beatles are playing there this weekend.
Yeah. So there's that.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Friday night,
wanna,
you got the Stones, and then Saturday, two Beatles tributes, and Sunday as well. I think it's two shows Saturday, I believe. But this Beatles tribute comes from Liverpool.
Wow.
Oh, that's neat.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Liverpool, Texas.
Same state.
Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool, Texas.
So I want to ask you, what did you think about the Wildy, the building of the Wildy Theater when you went in there?
I thought it was great, except for one thing.
Yeah.
I was so nervous about the film, I didn't exactly get to look around and it was nerve-wracking, okay? We didn't see the film before we went in there. And we've got friends and family and some people that we didn't know.
So you weren't investigating the building in any way,
we just
shape,
did
or
the
form?
premiere and then we went and had like a dinner or some drinks afterwards or whatever.
Again, just curious, like what like when you walk in a building like that, if you are like, whoa, there's some weirdness going on here.
I think at that point it was just so much noise and people that you
would
would
have blocked out any.
It would have blocked out any
all the
feelings or
vibrations were vibrations off
Yeah.
these living critters that are mumbling.
I do think it looked pretty inside.
Yes,
it looked like an
it's
old
an
theater,
awesome
which was
building.
cool.
So it was actually Matt Tall, I think, owned the company that redid that. A friend of ours that actually when it got redone, but that like in the 70s, like I remember I'd go there for Christmas and Santa Claus would be there and we'd get toys and watch movies and stuff, and it was kind of a creepy old building, but that building's been hit by just enough tornadoes. I think it's been knocked down 3 times by tornadoes. And it's just like, all right, something's going on there. There's like something is happening.
Oh, yeah, I get what you're saying. It shouldn't happen here all that many times.
Statistically speaking alone, this is an oddity, but the building itself was always, even as a kid, like I say, we would go there. My grandpa worked for, I don't know, one of the oil companies or something. And we would get to go and there would be Santa Claus and they'd give every boy a football and every girl a doll or whatever, and then you'd watch a Christmas movie. And it was Christmas, but I would always think it was creepy.
I did some work in there.
You did some work in there?
Yeah, years ago, but I
when it was a gentleman's club.
Yes, I was one of the gentlemen.
That's a patron, not a worker. I was a worker.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
I
And
was
then
a
the
cigarette
stage,
girl.
well.
It was a different time.
Awesome. I'm gonna get the sanitizer to start to perspire.
That's not even a good flavor of sanitizer. That's like cucumber.
What
or
do
something.
you mean flavor?
I don't know what I
Are you
You're not
drinking
supposed to
it?
eat this stuff. See what I did there? I was about to say the
good,
bad
yeah.
stuff.
you did
You would have
good.
set the record.
Oh man, I have no records.
Yeah.
I have nothing anymore. I just
You have the
just
time?
wanted to know. I have the time. It is,
Right
it
now,
is
it's
7:06.
17:06.
It's 6 minutes
The
after
show
the
ended,
hour.
huh?
Yeah. We
I
ended
didn't
this
know.
show 6 minutes ago. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
There's some other show on right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
attention to this.
Well, thank you guys.
Moving along, yeah.
This is Clark Howard. Let me tell you how to spend your money. I don't think he's on anymore. Someone else now.
So,
Anyway.
for those of you trying to tune into the show,
Yeah.
sorry you're still with us, right? No, we're talking to the Ghost Hunters. This is way cooler than the show that comes on after us.
They don't have no ghost hunters
For the
from
new
A&E.
folks, they should join us on November 5th for an
Absolutely.
investigation of Mineral Springs Mall with the Ghost Hunters.
Yeah.
And where can we find the tickets?
I don't know.
You can find them online at eventbrite.com.
There you go.
Or on either of our social medias, there's a link to it as well. At Stratton Richel or at Brian_Murray GH. And that's Brian with an I, not a Y.
And a dot.
Yeah, and a dot.
That's brain if it's with an I. Oh, wait a minute. I'm
called that,
dyslexic.
but not because I have one.
And you will be joined by Dustin Perry, so not
Yes.
just you two.
Yeah.
But
And his is at Dustin Perry. Right? Yes. It is. It is. Yes.
You know his. You know Dustin's, but you don't know yours.
You
know Dustin's, but you don't know yours.
because mine's all,
You made yours, right?
but I kind of made it.
You kind of made it?
Why do you think I'd ever put an underscore in it? I didn't know what that was. I call it a dash.
A
A low
is
dash.
a hyphen.
It's a low dash.
On the ground
A
dash.
dash is like a hyphen.
That's what I would call hyphen.
That's not a hyphen. That's an underscore.
So what do you call the number sign?
At,
No.
A pound?
hashtag.
But it's not.
Or
There you go.
hashtag.
It's pound. She said it right. Everybody says hashtag.
well, I was going with
What did I say?
how
You said at. That's the A with a circle around it. It's close. I get it.
I was thinking
You're fine.
about-
You're fine.
what you would call it.
You read my. I love it when you read my mind.
And since you told me you were going to Grateful Dead concerts and taking children with you, and you said 94,
I don't remember what year.
I
it was. It
assumed
was
that you were
fine.
going to say pound.
See, and that is what it is, and I'm happy to hear you
pound
say
sign?
that. Yeah, it's not a hashtag. This whole hashtag me too. It's pound me too.
hashtag is a kid you took with you.
I played tag with Hash once. It was hide and seek, and we
you're
never
getting
found
me
him.
all
Wait
screwed
a minute.
Oh my lord!
I'm getting you all screwed up.
Yeah.
It's fine, dude. You're the one with your hand in my pocket.
It's not my hand.
Whoa.
It is. Cut that shit. Cut that stuff.
Oh, don't get 3 in a row. You know what?
I'm out of here.
You have.
That's it. We're done.
Right
You broke
now,
the record.
right now it's rebuilding. So any second we're gonna pop back on from that thump. But Brian is now the potty mouth, and Richel, I'm impressed. You said at the beginning that you have.
I'm locking it in.
You said
Lock her
I'm
up.
actually impressed with her too.
your words were, I turned a new leaf and I said, Pshaw, I doubt it. And
That's where you were wrong.
I'm here to tell you, I was wrong per se. If for those who still appreciate Latin, no,
I think I've proven my
the
point.
mistake.
I've made quite the mistake.
I rest my case.
So with all the time we took out of this show,
It's fine.
we're probably on time.
We're perfectly. You know what? We're going to end at the exact right moment when we're supposed to, and I can tell you why, because that's when we're going to end. So,
Okay.
Thank you,
And
guys.
that's thanks to Halpin Music Company and to Mr. Matt Van Voorhis, who loves Mr. Donut. Right?
Who doesn't love Mr. Donuts?
Right.
Brad does.
Matt Van Voorhis is our
good.
sponsor. He's an insurance guy with Macias Insurance, but he decided this month he wants us to talk about Mr. Donut
And
because he's nice.
And you know what? I missed my Tuesday, my normal Tuesday ritual of going to Mr. Donuts in the morning and getting biscuits and gravy. I missed it because there was bad traffic coming across the bridge, and I just didn't want to go. But next Tuesday, I'm going back for
We're
biscuits
currently
and gravy.
working with Halpin Music to get a tuba full of Mr. Donuts.
Oh,
That's
that would
nice.
be so awesome, man! A tuba full of donuts is like the cream dream. I mean, that's awesome. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
In the meantime, get your tickets for November 5th, Mineral Springs Mall, The Investigation with the Ghost Hunters.
Yeah,
Brian and
absolutely.
Richel.
Also, go down there and see It's Raining Zen down there
Yes.
at Mineral
Man.
Springs.
And you can catch Jamming at the Springs in January there. There's going to be a lot happening there this winter. It's going to be popping. I don't know.
Okay, thank you guys.
All right, yeah, thank
Thanks,
you.
thanks to Sergeant Brian St. Richel of A&E ghost hunters. And thanks to everybody listening. Everybody, remember, get out, support local music, art, and check out the ghosties. Get your hand out of my pocket.
I actually did it.
Uber